Hey, I'm just going to breathe first. I'm in a thoughtful mood and serious. I have two things I want to share, and one is about, I'm writing an article about pedophilia in relation to my own experience with it. And I am kind of just like feeling into where I'm at, because I am so in an ocean, deep in an ocean, like, yeah, it feels just calm. I had therapy. What day is it today? Friday? I had therapy yesterday, and I'm just going to change the lighting. And I've been thinking, so the first one, the pedophilia topic, it's connected to parts and how to understand them and work with them from my experience. And the other one is something I'm noticing is shifting in me. And I will start with that one because that's, I don't know, more here. And this is going to be such a slow video because I am not fully done realizing or processing or feeling into or understanding. I'm in the process of the change, so I'm sharing from just, I don't know what's going on. I'm in the middle of it, but I need to talk it out to get further in the process. Can't believe I'm almost 40 years old. I was thinking about, I promise this is all going to come together. Just to bear with me as always. Oi. Yeah, I'll leave that be. I'm thinking about how we're adults and we can do what we want. We are free. Like, I think people don't realize the level of freedom that we can be in, that we can have access to, including myself. Also, that stupid person who keeps commenting negative things on my videos, you don't understand nothing. I hope you leave. I just wanted to say that. But so I'm in the process, so I have like social support from the government, and I applied like 2 years ago for 60%, and now I'm applying for 100 for different reasons. One of them being my own process and my therapy being demanding, and not wanting to be homeless, like things like that. So I'm applying for that, and that means I have to work with this lady to assess my my capacity, work capacity, and she has to write a report of what she finds and then give that to the government lady, who has to evaluate if or if not I can get those 100%. And while being in one of the meetings with that lady who was supposed to write the report, because in the first meeting, I'm like reflecting back, in the first meeting I'm kind of like, I want to be good, I want to be helpful, I want to like, I think we're on the same team. I think like she wants my best interest, like that's kind of like my hope. Although it's really interesting, this is sidetracking, but I think in a way I was also expecting to have an antagonist and to not be helped, but somehow there's this, I'm sure they want to help, like if I just do my best. And then a few meetings down the line, I am just frustrated, and like I think after the second meeting I got home and I was like, no one's coming to save me. And people say that sentence all the time. No one's coming to save you. But in that moment, it was like I felt or realized that I am trying in so many ways to get my way, but also take care of everyone else at the same time as much as possible. Like not drop anyone, not like, can I accommodate everyone else while at the same time trying to get what I want. And also really interesting, I have this, somewhere inside me is this feeling of like, one part is like I am looking to these government people or to other people as the authority. It just happens from this part of me, like they decide, they have more authority than me, they decide over me. Like that's not a conscious thought, it's just baked in to me, if that makes sense. So it's always this underlying energy in me of, they will decide, so I have to fight for my right. It's a very powerless place, an oppositional place. There is no sense of, or very little sense of, that feeling that I got after the second meeting of, like, actually I'm 40 years old, I'm an adult. Like, how there's so much inside the system of experiences that I will be not okay, because I wasn't okay when I was a kid. But now I'm an adult, like I'm strong, I am capable, I can physically fight for myself, I can be aware of myself and not be caught in emotional games. Like I can fight for myself or fend for myself in many different ways. So I am much more capable and free than I thought. And I walked away from that meeting thinking, okay, no one's coming to save me. It's me and my younger self, like her, the little one, me, small me. I really want to do, like, I grew up being told, well, it doesn't really matter if you want to or not want to, you have to. That's just how it works. A fucking sentence. where my parents could have been like, oh, you really don't want to go, like, let's find an option, let's find an alternative, like, it's important that you learn this thing, if it is important, because maybe it's not, but let's find an option then. Homeschooling, some people do that, whatever, but I'm looking at that young me and I'm like, you know what, I am not going to force you to do any of the things that this government lady is suggesting or telling or threatening that I have to do. Like, she really don't want to. And it's really strong, that feeling. Like, I'm going to explore more because there's a part of me that's like, I don't understand why she doesn't want to, and I have a hard time because of like this programming that she doesn't want to, and that's just, it's okay just because she doesn't want to. This voice of, but you have to contribute to society, you have to be part of, like, you can't be a leech, you can't just get the good stuff and not do the hard stuff, like all these things they were put into me. And when I looked at her, that little me, and I'm like, I'm you first. You first. I'm going to take care of you. I got you. And I realized I don't have to play nice with the system. Like, who... I don't know how to explain this, because I think I put this I want to be good, I want to be helpful, I want to be a good girl, I want to be not upset them, I want to be so they are proud of me and content with me and happy with me, like this child parent projection onto them. And I was like seeing that government lady, I'm like, who cares? And I was thinking about like the government, the report she has to give to the other government lady. Like, because I feel so bad. Ooh, I'm asking for 100% financial support. It's 2,000 US a month. It's not really a lot. And I'm so concerned that I'm like destroying the country's economy. Like, I feel so bad. And my mind shifted to like it's okay, like, how do I explain this? Let me see if I can get the feeling. Because I still feel bad about, because it feels self-centered. It feels egotistical in a way that I haven't really tasted before. It feels like, I have to close my eyes. Like, if I have to cheat the system, I will. Like, there's no, why am I trying to be nice towards the system? Like, that's an entity that I will play. Of course, I have to play by the rules, or else I will not get my application granted. So there are like rules I have to abide by, but I will twist them as far as I fucking can to get my way. Like, that was the attitude. And then I was thinking, ooh, people will think you're... Like, we have words for this in Norwegian. I don't know what the equivalent is in English, but like, I'm just a free rider, freeloader. Like, these kind of words. Like, oh, the refugees who come just to get money and I don't want to work. Like, this kind of like energy. And people will think that about me. And I'm like, well, if I got my way, who cares? Which is really... it's a new and weird... Like, oh, am I... Like, it's this... Am I not supposed to care about everyone else? Am I just Because if I just do my own thing and just run my own lane, people will know, like, she just offered herself. And I'll be like, I'm granted no support, no help, nothing. And then my therapist would say at this point, like, well, do you have any support now? Do you? Really? Like, what? Where is it? Do I have it? I don't think so. So, maybe it's more a felt thing than anything else. But that shift that I had, or I'm in, of I'm just going to fend for her, my young self, me. I'm going to take care of her and set up whatever I can set up to make her feel good and feel okay. That's my aim. Play the rules as well as I can. Don't be nice. Just if people see me as an asshole, okay. Well, then I am that, but I am here to get my way as much as possible. That's it, and I'm fighting for that. And although I feel like I feel bad, I'm also like, freedom. There's freedom in that. Yes, asshole. And I think okay, I'm trying to think if I had more to say about that. Okay, so I will segue into the pedophilia article, post, 14 pages, however many pages it is. Because I am writing about my experience with it, and both sides of the coin, like the perpetrator and the victim, like both perspectives. And trying to weigh my words carefully, I'm noticing. And I am in the article, post, text, the billion words, trying to get across how I can understand. I think people are going to go because there's not so much nuance, and there's not, people probably jump to the gun. But from my perspective, I can see, and I have experience with, having such a twisted perspective that, like, the guy in the street, like the normal guy, will be like, that's wrong, you know that, right? And I'll be like, no, I don't understand, like, I don't see the problem, and genuinely not see the problem, like, I can't comprehend it. And like, how is it possible that a parent touches their child sexually and don't understand that that's wrong or causing damage? And I can see how that is possible, and I'm trying to explain that by showing to internal family systems in parts, like how, and this is so interesting, I don't understand why more people are not more interested in this, because we all have like a plethora of parts inside, like people, personalities, like splits of yourself inside. and they hold specific feelings and specific beliefs based on the experience they've had. So let's say you experience something traumatic. Wouldn't be a problem if you have a healthy adult or a healthy person, like parent, caregiver, something that you trust, that can help you process the experience, process the feelings, and create like meaning that makes sense, that are also like benefiting you in some way. Then it's kind of like okay in a way. But if you don't have that, and I mean if your parent is causing the trauma, they don't have, probably most likely, the ability to do the repair that's needed. So then you're left to your own devices as a kid. I mean, as a kid, you're supposed to learn the coping mechanisms, like the processing, integration mechanisms from your parent. So you haven't been taught them, and now you're left to your own devices to process a traumatic event and make meaning out of that with a brain that can't think rationally. You have a child brain, felt thought, not rational thought. So you make up all sorts of meaning that makes sense to a child, but it doesn't make sense to an adult. Like, it's my fault that my dad molested me. And let me come back to my own track. Where did I go? The parts. You know, there's no editing or clipping out pauses or fuck ups in my videos. There's one take. I am not going to cater to, if you don't have time to watch the whole thing, you don't have time, that's fine. But I'm not going to cater to things in this world and this system that I don't like. Like, I like presence and slowing down and being here with you. That's a side note. So those parts that can hold such different feelings and perspectives, like, they really live. Man, I wish I knew more people. Like, I wish more people knew this. They live in their own bubble. Like, so fucking interesting to me, because when I work with my therapist, and I've worked with him for over a year, there's a great deal of trust. We can go really deep. And there's something about when he comes into those bubbles with me and he locks eyes and he's like, I'm here. Who are you? What are we feeling? What's, like, sleeves rolled up? Like, what are we doing here? And things that, so then he will meet, let's say, those twisted perspectives or beliefs I have, which you can't fault me for them being twisted. I did my best that I could as a child, you know? I had no adults to help me out here. So there's no fault on my end, in a way. Not in a way, there's no fault on my end. So I've coped as best as I could as a child with no help. So that is what's in that bubble. A child's coping. And then he meets that. And he can talk to me while I am embodying that part in that bubble. He talks to me and I am receptive. I mean, given that he is showing up in a way that makes me trust him, but I do with him. So because I trust him, I am open. So we can talk, and when he says, maybe your perspective is like, like, was it your mom who told you? And I'll be like, yes. We know some things about your mom, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's true. She's not the sanest person. Right, I remember. Actually, yeah, maybe what she told me, what I now believe, is not making so much sense. And then that's genuinely considered, and shift starts to happen. It's super different if I am if that part is in that bubble and it's inside me, and I kind of like sense that it's there, and when I focus on it, I can get some information from it. But that is super different if I communicate like, oh, there's some belief like this, and then a person will be like, yeah, that doesn't really make sense, and I'll be like, yeah, I agree, but I still feel like that. Like, because you haven't gotten access to that one, the information doesn't go into her, so you don't change nothing. It's really so powerful. Like, that should tell you something about how much change it is possible to create. Because if you meet someone like my practitioner or like me who can access into these bubbles and really talk in the right way to that part that is there, there can be a perspective of, I'm going to think back to my therapy session on Thursday, see if I can find an example. It's hard to remember the sessions. I was in two different parts, and the latter was really not liking the first one. And when my practitioner got into the bubble with the last one, and we kind of like oriented towards the first one and looked at it, and my practitioner was like, actually, like, she just wants truth, you know? I was like, really? Because I thought she wanted this thing, and I had like this whole perceived image of her based on what my mom said. So I was really like sitting there like feeling and looking and being like, yeah, maybe she's not that bad. That's a shift. Imagine if you have I'm trying to think if you have an adult who, okay, wait, this is also so interesting because like people are different. Like if you can like consider these parts, you have like a main self or a center self. That's almost like you have a stage, and you have a director who is responsible for who's on stage, like who's the audience that you let in, how crowded do you make it, like how do you interact, like do you, it's just like the whole organization of the thing. And then the parts are the actors that will come on stage, and they will be of course different roles, right? So ideally the director, he has some foundations, like I don't know how to explain this is so complex. Like you have to have an aware relationship to the fact that, okay, I am the director, I'm responsible for these parts, they are me, and here are also a lot of other people, like friends, family, whatever. And I have to have some beliefs about like what kind of person I want to be, what kind of values I have, things like that. You have to have some guiding lights or guiding rules, like something like principles to navigate this whole thing, like to navigate the parts that the actors coming onto the stage, and what if something in the audience, if they do something, what if they start throwing food at the people on the stage, like do you throw them out, like what do you do? But these, ideally, that director is in control. But what can happen is one of the actors come on stage, they're such a strong personality, they're like, actually I want to be the main character, locks the director in in the bathroom, and now that character is like full on stage. It's in your whole body. Now you're playing without any other awareness. You're fully that one character, that one part. Like, this is what, if you've seen, there's a movie Split, or like a guy changes personalities. It's like that. Like, you're one specific personality. And I mean, that can happen. Like, I'm thinking about how normal it is. I'm trying to find the answer to how common it actually is. Like, that maybe people are often in protector parts and they just think that's themselves, and it's actually just a part that is really like well adjusted and seem like the main self. But I mean, I think, so let's say you have one part that takes fully over, and you're an adult and you have kids, and that, like, maybe that part gets triggered by when you're changing diapers on your baby, because you have sexual trauma, so something brings that part up, and now that part have some sort of like feelings or reasoning that, oh, this is just innocent play, like I'm just experimenting, I'm just like, this is what my dad did to me, like this is normal, this is what you do when you love someone. Like, it can be all kinds of things. And then maybe after the experience, that part goes away, and you're like, oh, what did I do? And maybe you're flooded with guilt, for instance, and you feel super bad because maybe on some level you know it's not right. Ideally, your director is now not locked in the bathroom anymore, and that's what we're working towards, right? To get the director to become aware of these parts and to interact with them, and get into their bubble and talk to them, to increase awareness and be like, oh, you just touched your child in a way that actually I'm not sure if that was okay. Like, what do you think about that? And then that part will speak from its age, its level, its experience. Like, that has to be okay, that has to be valid, that is a part of what you went through. So you have to be there for that. Before, like, you have to be there for that. That's like one step. And validate and sit with that and really take that in before you can be like, but actually, that's not right. Like, your dad shouldn't have done that. That's wrong, actually. Like, did you like it? Which that might bring up a whole bunch of different answers, and then you have to be there for that. And then maybe you have to be like, okay, but your baby, you just touched them, and him or her, and do you think they liked it? And then you have to, like, it's like how you do with kids. Like, you're teaching them to consider the other person. And then hopefully, maybe eventually, like you will have given enough new information, enough new perspectives to that part in that bubble to be like, there's sufficient new awareness and change that when you come out of it and that integrates into your full body, you'll be like, next time maybe the part will come up, but it will not be as strong, and you will have those new perspectives and you will have more awareness, and you will be like, wait, I am kind of having this feeling or urge to touch my child, but wait, what did we talk about in the session? Yeah, wait, maybe this is not right. How is my child feeling? Oh, looks scared. Like, am I talking a lot now? I think I am. What is my point? I think I'm just trying to like really explain a bunch of things at the same time. That you really need to get like eye level with yourself, with those parts, to have a chance to create change. You can create change 100%. Like the level of change that is available to you, it's tremendous. Like I don't know if it has any bounds. Takes practice to learn to really see. Like I am really good at that. I had to learn it though, but I am really good at seeing who's there or what's there. And I think you need an example. At least in the beginning, you need an example to like really get it into your system, what it feels like, what it means. But also that, like, also one of my points is that these parts can have completely seemingly weird perspectives or feelings or impulses, whatever. Because they're operating based on what they experienced in that situation, and they dealt with that with their own child mind, with her help. They created the meaning that made sense to them as a kid. So things are immature. I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just you're supposed to mature by the help of your hopefully healthy parents as you grow up. But also that these parts can fully take over. I mean, killing someone in affection. I mean, that sounds like a takeover to me. I'm just saying. But also that you can't, I wonder how many therapists does this actually. I can't kind of become aware of some part inside of me with some perspectives and feelings and talk about that, and people tell me, oh, that's not really healthy. And I'm like, oh, of course, now I'm changed. Like, unless you get down on that emotional level where you're locked eyes again, and you're really like, you have to go through the whole process of validating, seeing, understanding, talking back and forth, like, that's how you change. Yeah. I was thinking about it when I don't know when, maybe when I was walking to the sauna yesterday. I was thinking about like how, like, because I know how powerful I am when I work with people, because I know how like I just know how good I am doing this work. And I was thinking like how I can change the direction of your life in one session. At the same time, so many people have relational trauma, so it's really not about that one session. It's about that continuous sessions where change happens as well. But like there are different sessions for different needs, I guess. Yeah, just putting that out there. If you want to work with me, you can. If it's scary, I get that. It's fun though. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to post the article I'm writing when I'm ready. I'm editing, and I'm probably halfway through those billion pages, but it will get there.